Hey guys, welcome back to Geared Forward, and today we have 5 unusual EDC items to spice up your EDC, so let's get cracking. The first one is probably going to look familiar to some people of a certain age, and that is not actually cassette tape, but as you can see, a power bank masquerading as one. Now, I did try to see if there were similar products available on Amazon. A quick search did not lead to a success there. I got this from AliExpress. It was about $27 at the time. And as you can see here, we have a USB-A input, a USB-C, and I want to say one of them is Lightning. We have some integrated cables, so a USB-C here, and a Lightning cable here, and a small digital display so you can see the charge whilst it's outputting and whilst you're charging the power bank as well. Now, in terms of quality, this is fine. It's not the best power bank. Personally, for power banks, I tend to favor Anker. I have a long history of using them and having good experiences with them. This has mostly worked. I do find that this doesn't reliably charge all devices. It can be a little finicky with some. I suspect USB-C might be to blame for some of that. I do prefer to use the USB-A with a cable rather than these. This is kind of a built-in flaw with a lot of these kinds of chargers that have integrated cables, in that you have the cable want to lie flat, and so when you charge your device, the device is either on its side or the cable is twisted, which is less than ideal, or this is bouncing on its side. That's a very minor complaint. I mostly just got this because it was whimsical, but it does come in handy, especially for charging up these studio lights, because there's no outlets in this corner of the room. So overall, very fun. This does also come in a cassette style case, which is very nice. There are 2 versions of this. I believe a yellow sticker and a green sticker version. The yellow sticker version is a micro USB-C, and I think this one being USB-C is the main difference. So our first item, cassette power bank. Moving on to a similar shape. This is weird, but it also makes you feel very cool at the same time. Here we have a little waterproof case, and inside is something rather quirky and interesting and somewhat practical. So we have 2 very solid snaps over here. When we open it up, and we see a disassembled gun, essentially. This is a scalpel holder or box opener that uses a scalpel that breaks down and resembles a assault rifle, I believe specifically an AR pattern assault rifle. So let's go ahead and take a look at the various different parts here, and they get wedged down really well into this protective foam. Okay. So obviously here you can see this is the actual scalpel holder itself, which is meant to be what the barrel, so to speak, with a number 11 scalpel blade. Now this comes with a number 11 installed. It also comes with 4 replacements, but a number 11 scalpel blade is a standard, so you can also just get scalpel blades from other sources as well. They'll work just fine. And in terms of ergonomics, this is very nice, very good for precision cutting like you're using an X-Acto knife. Now how all of this works basically is this blade is retained by these bolts. The actual, I guess, suppressor is a wrench to remove these bolts to change this out, and just screws into the front when not in use, which also adds a little bit more handle to it when you're using it. The rest, or I guess the receiver, I'm from the UK, I'm not big about this, I may get these terms wrong. Basically hinges on this part here. You can see this goes here, and then mates down in here like so, with a retaining click. And then the handle and trigger are actually the release. So you just push down on this, and then the blade pivots away, and you can take it off. Now the intent here is that you use this part of the stock to put a split ring or a lanyard through. You carry this on your keys. This is just a fun little curio that I have around my desk. This isn't particularly legal for the UK for me to carry around, but this is just a fun little item. And here we have 2 little magazines. These are actually very, very small screwdrivers. You see this, so we have a small flathead and a small Phillips. You can obviously only use one of these at a time, so you pick the one that's more relevant to you, and that just slots in here. It is a little rattly when it's installed, but it is what it is. And you can put it in the other way. I assume this is intentional because it does have these retaining notches on the bottom as well. At that point, the entire thing becomes a bit of a torque lever, so you can use it like a T-handle. Not that I would really want to put that much torque behind a small screw, but overall, that is the package that you get. I think this was about £30 when I bought it from Heine, however you want to say it, and it's just a fun little item. The case is very high quality, and when you need to do some precise cutting, scalpel blades are a very good option for it. So a fun little thing that you can keep as a curio on your desk, or if laws permit, you can have as a little bit of a conversation starter next time you open a box at work. This next one is one that I would never really use for its intended purpose, and that is a titanium toothpick. So how this works is we have a hollow handle that can be attached to a split ring, and then on this side we unscrew. This is threaded, and there's also a O-ring here. That does theoretically make this watertight, but I think it mostly just adds some initial retention so that this doesn't unscrew. So once you have your toothpick part, you flip it around, screw it back into the handle, and here you have a titanium toothpick. Let's be honest, this looks like a very small titanium shiv, but it's actually pretty, like, having something this kind of shape and pointiness is actually really useful for clearing gunk out of crevices and pushing some reset buttons. I would never personally put something metal this pointy in my mouth. It sounds like I'm just asking to slip and stab myself in the gums. But this is something that I keep in a kit. It will probably be moving over to the urban pouch that I'm sure you've seen, but if you haven't, video over here. And it's just really cheap, but surprisingly useful to have around, and because it's so light, you don't really notice you're carrying it till you need it. I want to say that at the time I paid about eight maybe £10 for this, but you can get different versions of these, some of them bolt action, some of them unscrewing like this. You can get them from Amazon, AliExpress, Temu. They are all over the place, different styles, colors, price points. They tend to be super cheap, and honestly, as long as it's not going to get you in any legal hot water, I don't see a reason why you wouldn't carry something like this. It's a weird tool, but the more tools you have, the more prepared you are for different situations. In number 4 is an item that you may recognize from a certain excessive channel. This is the Budi card organizer. I don't really know how to classify this, but it's a travel gadget essentially. So here we have a aluminium outer with a plastic ring, and when you push on the bottom, the insert slides out, and what we have here is some storage for micro SDs, some storage for nano SIM cards. The top is actually a micro SD card reader, so you just pop your card in there, a USB-C cable in there, and you can read to whatever you like. So you can take some pictures and then move that over to a laptop or phone from a dedicated camera should you wish. And then on the back we have one more slot. Now in terms of cable, we have, as you can see, a cable that wraps around the inside here. It is in there tight, and this is actually a pretty good quality. The cable's decently thick. The ends are very nice aluminium. This is a USB-C to C. And on the back, we actually have a variety of different, so you get these out, a variety of different adapters. So this is C to A. And then we have a C to micro and a C to lightning. So in a pinch, you can make a great variety of different cables using these adapters. It's a very flexible thing to have on hand, and whilst I wouldn't want to be taking this cable out and using it all the time, I do find that I like having this in my bag for just in case. But I have also used these adapters separately with other USB-C cables that I'm carrying, which is very handy. And deep down in here underneath these adapters, you also have a little SIM extraction tool, which just slides out of its retaining point in there, which is always handy to have on hand. So between these nano SIM trays and the extraction tool, this is great for if you're going to a different country, swapping SIM cards. You know, you can pop yours in here, or if you have multiple countries to go to, you can keep your different SIM cards organized. This has one more trick that I don't know if I'll be able to access, but on the end here, if we pull this back out, this hurts because I've just cut my nails, you actually have a little pop-out phone stand. This works actually surprisingly well because you have a lot of leverage with this base to keep the phone stable. This is not going to be my first choice for a travel stand. They are much better, especially if you get a dedicated one. But considering that it's just another added function and it does still work, it's nice to have it in there. So the Cable Buddy is a nice little travel accessory, and I don't remember the price off the top of my head, but there will be links down in the description box below, so you can check all this out yourself. And our final item is one that I'm sure many of you are familiar. You must have seen it in posts, be it on Instagram, EDC websites, or on various different YouTube channels. This is the Heroclip. This is a carabiner that you're intended to take with you and then use to hang your bags or coats so they don't have to go onto the floor in unfortunate circumstances. So how this works is we have the wire gate for the carabiner here. If we just push that in, we can then rotate this back hook, which articulates here 180 degrees, but it also folds out here. So what you can then do with this kind of grippy tailpiece here is then hook this onto a ledge, and then you can hang your bag from the end of, say, a table so it's not on the floor, or you can put your coat and bag on the cubicle door so it's not on the nasty public bathroom floor. Personally, what I like about this is one of the bags I EDC'd for a long time was the Peak Design everyday carry bag. And great bag, love it, but after a good solid year and a half of use, I noticed that the bottom of it was showing significant wear from just me putting it on the ground, most of the time on cheap corporate carpet, some on a concrete floor, and this would have really saved the bottom of the bag. Obviously, ideally, bags should be able to withstand bag-like treatment, but it's just nice to keep your bags a little bit less worn if they don't need to be, and keep them a little cleaner. These come in a range of sizes. The price is going to depend on the size. This is the medium, as we can see here. Not for climbing, but this is the medium, and this holds 60 pounds or 27 kilograms. The larger the clip, the bigger, the higher the amount of weight that it can carry. Obviously, the more a pain it is going to be to carry as well. I went for the medium. Honestly, size-wise, I would have preferred getting the small, but I wasn't comfortable with the small's rating definitely being within what I would load a backpack up with. So I ended up going with this, 60 pounds, more than enough for a backpack, even heavily loaded, and it's come in handy quite a few times, and I greatly recommend this for a travel accessory or just your everyday bag. So those are our 5 unusual EDC items. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think of these. Do you have an experience? Are you interested after seeing them? And let me know if there are any more unusual items that you would like to see on the channel, or that you have found work really well for you in your everyday life. Thanks for watching. Whilst you're down there, I would greatly appreciate if you hit that like and subscribe button. It greatly helps the channel as we push towards 1,000 subscribers. And if you would like to support the channel more directly, please consider using our affiliate links for free, or supporting more directly with Patreon or YouTube channel memberships. But until next time, I've been Paul, and I hope you, yes you, have a wonderful rest of your day.